It's Chris, the Idaho Painter here on Paint Life TV. Today's day 3 out here painting this house, and I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing today. And if you haven't seen the previous videos, you can go back, check out my previous videos. We've got the pressure washing of the house video, we've got prepping the house video, and then day 1 and day 2 painting this house alone. It's a very large house, probably around 3,500 square feet, 2-story. We've got 2 dormers on both sides that you can't access by just walking on the roof. So got some challenges there that we're working on. But this job, to tackle it by myself, one of the things you always want to do is just think about layering your job or sequencing the job properly for a 1-man crew or a 2-man crew. And what I did, first day, I just got here, I wanted to tackle something simple, and I wanted to tackle something I didn't have to do a lot of prep and masking with, and that was the accent color. So those gables were very simple, easy to do very first, and you gotta spray your gables at accent color so you can mask and do the soffits, which are a different color. So I tackled the gables first, I tackled the garage doors, and then the side man door. Day 2, I wanted to do some masking and spraying of the body. So I did masked all the windows off, and I sprayed all the body on all the lower body, and then the big gables on the sides. I got all that done. Now we're day 3. I'm working on the hard stuff, and I didn't want to tackle the hard stuff day 1. You know, I wanted to just get myself into it. So I've got the first dormer up there, some tools that you're gonna need when painting a house that's gonna make the job faster and more efficient for you, and just a more pleasant process. If you've got any type of gutters on your house, you need to protect them. I'm using a ladder helper, a pivot ladder gutter guard right here. This thing, just stick it up in your gutters. You can lean your ladders on your gutters. They're not gonna bend, and you're not gonna scratch them. If you're doing any type of spraying, you need to have a cardboard shield holder. This is a craft cardboard shield holder. This is a must-have tool to help you control overspray. So I want to show you a little trick here. I got my ladder here. I've got some ladder boots on it, and the ladder boots make it so you don't you'll mark up your house or scratch your house, freshly painted surface. But the ladder boots still will actually leave marks, and they'll stick to the paint if you've painted the same day. If it's had time to cure out, it won't stick to the paint. But what I do is take and put plastic over my boots, and the plastic won't stick or mar up your painted surface. And you don't want to put the print side up, because the print will actually transfer to a freshly painted surface. So I just flip it upside down. Now I'm gonna just wrap this plastic around my boots, and now my boots will not mark up my surface. So it doesn't have to be anything pretty. I'm just gonna put it on here, fold it over on the top. Just like this. So now you got a nice clean plastic surface that can lean up against your house and not mark it. So I just want to say something about, what I'm doing right here. So we've got our gable, the accent color right here, and then the soffits themselves, they were previously painted the same color as the shakes, but I really like it if the shakes are a different color. The accent color is separated from the soffit. The soffit, what I'm doing is I'm doing it the body color. A lot of times we'll mask this off and put 9-inch paper right here, mask it, and then we'll just spray it. But I'm working by myself. I'm up here. If I had a mask and then go down, come back up, it's multiple trips. I can do this just as fast, rolling it. These edges instead of masking it, and then I'll spray. Sometimes I'll spray the rest of it, or I could just roll the entire thing. But you can see it's fairly fast rolling this. And it just, you do this, do these soffits a different color, same color as the body, it looks a lot nicer. Just an added touch. It definitely takes a lot more work than what the previous painters did, but the final product looks a lot nicer. We're always after a good looking end product. That's the goal. You can see some light spots on the shakes up here. We've got to touch up too. Okay, I got another tip for you, and it's wearing gloves. I always talk about wearing gloves, and I wear gloves for a lot of reasons, but when you're working with extension ladders all day long, these climbing ropes that are attached to these extension ladders, ratcheting them up and down, you can get burns on your hands. That's never gonna be an issue, and you can grip the rope a lot easier. So the rope is gonna be sliding in my hand as it's going up and down, and it doesn't actually burn or hurt my hands at all having gloves on. So if you're painting an exterior, it's definitely a good idea to wear gloves. The guns, spray guns, sitting out in the sun, get hot. They're easy, so it's you're not gonna burn your hands when you're grabbing the gun, with gloves on. Also, it helps grip the gun, but there's just a lot of other reasons. At the end of the day, you're not gonna have as dirty of hands, wearing gloves too, and I don't like to have to sit there and just scrub all this paint and grime and stuff off my hands at the end of the day. All right, so I'm here doing the soffits above the accent color, the shake color. So I'm just hand doing them, rolling them, because it's probably about the same amount of time. If I'm working alone, so instead of masking it, I just want to get up the ladder one time, so I'm rolling them. Just using a 4-inch roller. I'm using a Premier Woven Pro 3/8-inch roller to roll the large parts. I'm also using a Premier Riverdale Chinex bristle brush. This is a 3-inch angled sash brush, and the Chinex for exterior paints, the best to use on the outside because they clean up quickly at the end of the day. Paint does not stick to a Chinex bristle brush, and you're gonna be outside and you're gonna be using your brush. It's hot, it's gonna get dried paint on it. It's really hard to keep them from getting dried paint on them. So those are the tools I'm doing the soffit with. I'm just using a 2-inch cut-in bucket. I like the or not 2-inch, but 2-gallon cut-in bucket with a 1-gallon bucket screen on it. I think I'm almost halfway done with these gables. And I don't know if you're, like, I'm working on this ladder. I always keep one hand holding on to the ladder and my bucket at the same time. That way I know my bucket's secure, and I know I'm secure because I'm holding on to the ladder. Some people like using pail hooks, but I'm not one for pail hooks because I don't have the bucket in my hand and I don't have control of it. So I kind of like to just myself have the bucket, you know, in my grasp and the ladder in my grasp. So it just makes me feel safe and secure for somebody that's kind of afraid of heights. Makes me feel more comfortable doing it like that. Okay, another tool I want to talk about that I'm using today is the pivot roof boot, and I've got two dormers up here. The pitch of the roof, you can't walk on it. It's so steep. These things, you can screw them into your roof underneath a shingle, and then you can slide an extension ladder down in it. You can use other devices like the pivot ladder box in conjunction with these things, but it makes accessing the roof safe. And so these things are a must-have if you got to get on a steep roof. So you'll probably see me using these things on the two dormers up there. A couple other things I just want to share when I'm out painting. Before I start painting, I use a product called Workman's Friend Barrier. And this stuff just makes it, at the end of the day, it makes it easier for me to clean up my hands. It actually puts a barrier on your hands that paint and stuff like that doesn't stick to. So I usually put it on several times a day, and I like soft hands too, so. There you go, and it dries non-greasy, dries in just a few minutes, and then you're off and running. Also, in the sun, another thing, I always, before I start the day, use sunblock. You're gonna be outside all day long, and there's nothing worse than getting absolutely fried the back of your neck. This is a product that I've been using, Skinny's sun gel, so works really good. A little bit goes a long way. So I just want to give you a little advice on ladders and setting your feet on ladders too. So we got an extension ladder. I've got self-leveling feet on this ladder, and absolutely essential when it comes to doing exterior repaints, because you want to have your ladder setting level on level ground, but you also want to have your feet set properly. Whenever you're in grass, you're supposed to have your spikes down in the grass. So the ladder's now sitting with the rubber down. That's how you want your ladder sitting on concrete. You would never want that setting like that on grass, because the likelihood of the ladder sliding is extremely great. The ladder is very safe with the spikes down in dirt. So you'll take the ladder itself, and I'm holding it up, and I flip it forward, and now my spikes are down in the dirt, and they're set, and it's never gonna go anywhere. To get the spikes back and the feet flat, all you gotta do is raise it back up, and now the feet are flat. You can see on uneven ground, this thing will self-level itself on uneven ground. It's the Werner self-leveling ladder feet, absolutely amazing. But I'm working back here in the grass, so I'm getting my spikes set. There we go. Now my ladder's good and safe. All right, we are all done with day 3. I got what I set out to do today, and I wanted to get all the soffits above all these high peaks done. I wanted to get the dormers done. Very difficult. Installed ladder jacks all over the roof where I can get on the roof with different means. Use a 6-foot ladder, one of the ladder jacks, extension ladders. So I got everything done and accomplished a little bit sooner than I thought. I know somebody might have some questions, where do you spray versus where do you brush and roll? I typically always brush and roll all the trim. And the body of the house, I spray the body. Spraying is a means to getting on paint a lot faster. It doesn't promote adhesion and penetration like brushing and rolling does. So you definitely want to brush and roll your fascia and your trim. It's going to withstand, the weather. It's going to bond better. But the body, you want to get the body on quickly. It's large expanses, but even something like this, a metal garage door like this, doesn't have to be back rolled because you don't have to promote adhesion on something like that because it's metal. So you don't have to back roll that. On the siding, there are places when I'm spraying, I'm going to be back rolling them before I spray and not after I sprayed. After I sprayed, I found a few places that needed to be hit. Back rolled. Up on these high areas where I didn't have the ladder jacks, I didn't do any prepping until I got up there. Once I got the ladder jack set, I did my prep work, I did my caulking, my back rolling, and then my spraying. So it's all done now, and we're going to come back for day 4. Now all the hard part is done. All that really difficult ladder work is done. We're going to be doing just brushing and rolling trim, the fun and easy stuff. That's going to be day 4. So stay tuned for day 4. If you haven't subscribed so you get notified when day 4 comes out, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you get notified by email. That's all that notification bell does, is allows you to get notified. Free, simple, and easy to do. If you got any questions and comments about this video, leave them down in the comment section below. And the tools and accessories, most of them you see in my videos, you can find them at our store, where you can find our shirts, hats, and apparel also at store.theidahopainter.com. And that's down in the video link also. Stay tuned for video 4. We'll see you out.